to us. It's correcting the mistake of our existence. I've looked into every remaining possibility. There are no victories left. Only different versions of how we lose. And in every single one, doom survives.
No voices, only the sound of wind moving through empty streets. The very first shot shows a destroyed city that looks nothing like the bright worlds we saw in past Avengers Endgame moments. Buildings are broken, smoke fills the sky, and strange lightning flashes across the clouds. This is not just damage from a battle. It feels like the world has already lost. Slowly, the camera moves across the ground, showing broken shields, burned vehicles, and pieces of armor that look like they belonged to heroes we once knew. The color tone is cold and gray, giving a strong feeling of sadness and fear. There is no sign of victory here. Instead, every frame tells the audience that something terrible has already happened before the story even begins. Then, without warning, thunder crashes across the sky. A single bolt of lightning hits the ground, lighting up the dark world for a split second. That one flash reveals a tall figure standing alone in the distance. Fans quickly recognize the shape, the cape, the hammer, and the strong stance. It is Thor, played once again by Chris Hemsworth, but this time he looks very different. His armor is darker than before, with visible cracks and damage. His red cape is torn and dirty, showing that he has been fighting for a long time. His face looks tired, heavy, and serious. The proud and confident hero we once saw laughing and joking now stands silent, like a warrior carrying the weight of the entire world on his shoulders. As the camera moves closer, we hear the first voice in the trailer. It is not loud. It is calm, deep, and full of pain. Thor speaks slowly, almost like he is remembering something he wishes he could forget. He says that there was a time when heroes protected the world, when hope was strong, when people believed the Avengers would always win. But now, that hope feels broken. Right after this line, the trailer shows fast flashes of past memories, moments that remind fans of the journey that led to this dark point. We see quick images of battles, destroyed planets, and unknown enemies that look stronger than anything seen before. These shots feel like warnings, telling the audience that the threat in this movie is bigger than anything faced in earlier stories. Another powerful moment happens when Thor slowly lifts his hammer, but the sound it makes is not strong or proud. Instead, it feels heavy, like the weapon itself carries sadness. This small detail gives a clear message. The Thunder God is still standing, but he is no longer the same hero we once knew. At the end of this opening section, the music finally begins. It starts very low, with deep drums that sound like a heartbeat. Each beat feels slow and heavy, matching the feeling of danger growing in the background. The camera pulls back, showing Thor standing alone on a hill while lightning spreads across the sky behind him. And just before the screen cuts to black, a single line appears in glowing letters. When gods fall, only thunder remains. That one sentence sets the tone for everything that follows. It tells viewers that this story is not just about fighting villains. It is about survival, loss, and the final stand of a hero who may be facing his last battle. This opening section does not waste time with jokes or light moments. Instead, it builds tension, fear, and deep emotion from the very first second. It shows that Avengers, Doomsday, the last thunder. God is planning to be darker, heavier, and more serious than any Avengers story before. And most importantly, it places Thor at the center of the storm, making it clear that his journey will be the heart of this final chapter. Just as the screen fades back in, the music begins to rise slowly, building tension with deep drum sounds that feel like warning signals. The next scene shifts away from Thor standing alone and takes us into what looks like a secret base hidden underground. The lights inside flicker, and sparks fall from broken wires. It feels unsafe, rushed, and desperate, nothing like the strong headquarters we once saw in earlier Avengers stories. Inside this dark base, we see shadows moving quickly across the walls. Soldiers and survivors are rushing from one place to another, carrying equipment and shouting silent commands. No one looks calm. Every face shows worry, fear, and the feeling that time is running out. This moment clearly tells the audience that whatever threat is coming, it has already pushed the heroes to their limits. Then, the camera focuses on a large hologram screen in the center of the room. The map displayed on the screen shows multiple red warning marks flashing across different parts of the world. Some areas are already marked as lost zones. Others are blinking, showing that they are under attack right now. The message is clear. This is not a single battle. This is a war happening everywhere at once. Suddenly, a sharp alarm sound echoes through the base. The loud noise breaks the silence and adds urgency to the scene. The screen zooms into one of the blinking red zones, showing what looks like a massive storm forming over a major city. But this is not a normal storm. The clouds twist in strange shapes, glowing with dark purple lightning that looks unnatural and dangerous. As this happens, we begin to see quick shots of familiar heroes arriving one by one. Their entrances are not loud or heroic like before. Instead, each arrival feels heavy, like warriors walking into their final mission. Doors open, shadows step inside, and helmets are slowly removed. The mood stays serious, with no smiles or jokes, only focus. One powerful moment shows a hero placing a damaged shield on a table. The shield has deep cracks across its surface, showing signs of intense battle. This single visual speaks loudly without words. It shows that even the strongest defenders have struggled against this unknown enemy. The trailer then cuts to another location, a distant planet covered in fire and smoke. Here we see survivors running across broken land while the sky burns above them. Massive shapes move in the clouds, hinting at giant forces attacking from above. The scale of destruction shown in this shot makes it clear that Earth is not the only world in danger. Entire planets are being destroyed. Back inside the base, the camera returns to the group of heroes now gathered around the hologram table. No one speaks at first. They only look at the screen, watching the red warning signals grow in number. The silence in this moment feels heavy, like everyone understands how serious the situation has become. Then, a deep voice finally breaks the silence. It says that the enemy is not attacking one world, but many worlds at the same time. The voice explains that the damage spreading across the map is not random. It is planned. Every attack is part of a larger mission, designed to break defenses and remove hope from every corner of the universe. As this explanation continues, the trailer shows short flashes of massive destruction across different worlds. Cities collapse into dust. Oceans rise like walls. Mountains crack open as glowing energy spreads through the ground. Each shot lasts only a second, but together they build a terrifying picture of unstoppable force. One of the most intense moments happens when the camera cuts back to Thor entering the base. His arrival is slow and silent. Everyone turns toward him as he walks forward, his boots echoing against the metal floor. No one cheers, no one smiles. Instead, they look at him with quiet hope, like he may be their last chance. Thor steps up to the hologram table and studies the flashing red marks carefully. His face shows deep thought and sadness, but also determination. He does not speak right away. Instead, he places his hammer down on the table, creating a heavy metallic sound that echoes through the room. That sound feels like a signal. The war has truly begun. The music rises again, becoming louder and faster. The camera begins cutting between fast action shots, ships launching into space, heroes preparing their armor, weapons charging with glowing energy. These quick visuals show that the Avengers are preparing for something bigger than any fight they have faced before. Just when it seems like the team is ready to move, another shocking moment hits. The hologram suddenly changes, showing a new image, an unknown figure standing in darkness. The shape is tall and powerful, surrounded by swirling cosmic energy. We cannot clearly see the face, but the presence alone feels terrifying. No one in the room speaks when this image appears. Even the strongest heroes remain silent, watching the figure slowly move forward inside the hologram. The fear on their faces tells the audience something important. This enemy is not just powerful, it is unstoppable. The section ends with a chilling moment. The lights in the base suddenly flicker again. The alarms return, louder than before. The hologram flashes bright red across the entire map, showing that attacks are spreading faster than expected. And just before the scene cuts away, Thor finally speaks one short but powerful sentence. "Then we fight, until the last thunder falls." Those words echo as the screen fades to black, leaving viewers with a strong feeling that the war ahead will not just test strength, it will test survival itself. The next part of the trailer begins with a sudden shift in sound. The fast drums stop and everything becomes quiet again. But this silence feels different from before. It feels heavier, like the calm before something truly terrifying appears. A deep, echoing sound begins to grow in the background, almost like distant thunder rolling through space. The screen fades in to show outer space, but this is not the peaceful space we are used to seeing. The stars flicker like dying lights, and strange cracks begin forming across the sky itself. These cracks glow with purple and blue energy, spreading slowly like broken glass. Right away, this tells the audience that the danger is no longer just about planets or cities. Reality itself is starting to break. Then comes one of the most shocking visuals in the trailer. A massive portal opens in the middle of space. It does not look smooth or controlled like portals seen in earlier battles. This one looks violent and unstable, with lightning bursting from its edges. Pieces of rock and metal float toward it, pulled in by a force too strong to resist. Inside this glowing portal, we finally see the shadow of the enemy. The figure stands still, surrounded by waves of dark energy that move like smoke. Even though the face is still hidden, the shape alone feels powerful and dangerous. The size of the figure looks larger than any normal being, hinting that this villain may not just be strong, but cosmic in scale. As the portal expands, the music begins to rise again, but now it sounds darker and deeper than before. The sound feels like a warning, telling the audience that something unstoppable is coming. The camera zooms slowly toward the figure, and just as it gets closer, we hear the villain's voice for the first time. The voice is calm, cold, and very confident. It does not sound angry or rushed. Instead, it sounds like someone who already knows victory is certain. The villain speaks slowly, saying that the age of heroes is ending, and that the universe has grown weak and broken. Each word echoes through space, making the moment feel even more powerful. As these words continue, the trailer shows terrifying flashes of destruction happening across different worlds. Entire cities are pulled into glowing cracks in the sky. Oceans rise into the air before disappearing into swirling portals. Massive buildings twist and break apart like paper. These images create the feeling that nothing, no matter how strong, can survive this force. Then comes a chilling moment showing a group of heroes standing on a broken battlefield. The ground beneath them shakes, and glowing cracks begin spreading under their feet. One hero looks up at the sky, watching as reality itself tears open above them. This shot is short, but powerful, showing that the fight ahead will not follow normal rules. Back in space, the mysterious villain slowly steps forward from the portal. For the first time, we see part of the armor, dark, heavy, and glowing with strange symbols that pulse with energy. These glowing marks feel ancient, like they belong to something older than the universe itself. This small detail suggests that the enemy may not just be strong, but also deeply connected to cosmic forces beyond understanding. Another intense moment follows when we see a massive wave of energy spreading outward from the villain's position. The wave moves across space like a shock wave, smashing through planets and tearing open more glowing cracks in reality. Entire worlds vanish in seconds as the wave passes through them. The scale of destruction shown here is unlike anything seen before in any Avengers story. Then, the trailer cuts back to Thor and the remaining heroes watching this destruction unfold through their hologram system. The image flickers as more worlds disappear from the map. The red warning signals multiply faster than before, covering almost every visible area. Thor's face becomes the center of the shot. His eyes reflect the glowing red lights from the hologram. The look on his face is not fear, it is understanding. He realizes that this enemy is not just another villain to defeat. This is a force that could erase everything that exists. A powerful emotional moment follows when the trailer shows Thor standing alone again, this time on a cliff overlooking a burning world. Lightning begins forming around him, but instead of striking quickly, it moves slowly, like the storm itself is waiting for his command. His cape flows behind him, and the sky glows with dark clouds swirling overhead. At this point, the villain's voice returns once more, louder and clearer than before. The villain says that gods, heroes, and legends all fade with time, and that even thunder cannot stop what is coming. These words feel personal, almost like they are meant directly for Thor. As those words echo, the trailer cuts rapidly between scenes of destruction and preparation. Heroes charging weapons, ships flying into battle, massive armies forming across ruined landscapes. Every shot feels urgent, showing that the final battle is moving closer with every passing second. Then comes a truly unforgettable moment. Thor raises his hammer toward the sky, and lightning explodes around him in a massive storm. The light fills the entire screen, creating a bright flash that hides everything for a split second. When the light fades, we see Thor standing at the front of a battlefield, surrounded by heroes ready to fight. The storm behind him grows stronger, filling the sky with thunder and flashing light. This single shot feels like the beginning of the final stand. But just before the battle begins, the trailer delivers one last, chilling surprise. The villain's full silhouette appears again, now much clearer than before. The glowing energy around the figure spreads outward like wings of darkness, covering the sky. And as the music reaches its highest point, the villain speaks one final line that sends a wave of fear through the scene. "Your thunder will be the last sound this universe ever hears." The screen cuts to black instantly after this line, leaving viewers with a deep sense of danger and the clear message that the battle ahead will decide the fate of everything. The next part of the trailer opens with a slower, more emotional tone. After the intense threat shown in the previous moments, the music now changes into something softer but very heavy, almost like the sound of a goodbye. Instead of explosions and destruction, the screen fades into a quiet memory, one that feels personal to Thor. We see a peaceful landscape under a golden sky. For a short second, it almost feels like hope has returned. The wind moves gently, and the sound of thunder is distant, calm, and controlled. But this peaceful moment does not last long. The camera slowly reveals Thor standing alone again, holding his hammer close to his chest. His posture looks tired, not weak, but worn from years of endless battles. This moment feels very different from the warrior we first met years ago in Thor. Back then, Thor was proud, loud, and full of energy. Now, the trailer shows a hero who has lived through loss, pain, and endless wars. The silence around him makes this moment feel deeply emotional, like he is thinking about everything he has sacrificed. Then the trailer begins showing short flashes of Thor's past. These are not long scenes, but quick glimpses that remind fans of his journey across many battles. We see flashes of his younger self standing beside warriors, protecting worlds, and facing powerful enemies. These memory-like shots feel like reflections of a long road that has led him to this final point. The music slowly grows louder as the memories continue. Each flash becomes more intense. Battles, lightning storms, broken weapons, and destroyed lands. These moments remind the audience that Thor has fought longer than most heroes, carrying the role of protector for many years. But now, it feels like the final chapter of his story is approaching. Then comes one of the most emotional scenes in the trailer. Thor is shown standing inside what looks like a ruined temple. The walls are cracked, and pieces of stone lie scattered across the floor. At the center of the temple stands an old statue of a warrior holding a lightning weapon. The statue looks ancient, almost like a symbol of warriors who came before Thor. Thor walks slowly toward the statue and places his hand on it. His face shows deep thought, like he is asking himself a question no one else can answer. The camera stays close to his expression, showing the heavy weight he carries. This moment suggests that Thor is not just preparing for another fight, he is preparing for something that could cost him everything. As the music continues, we hear Thor speaking again. His voice is calm but filled with strength. He talks about how storms never last forever, but thunder leaves a mark that people remember. These words sound like more than just dialogue. They feel like a message to the heroes around him, and maybe even to the audience watching. Right after this speech, the trailer shifts into a powerful training and preparation sequence. We see Thor walking across battlefields, gathering strength, and calling lightning from the sky. The thunder responds to him, growing brighter and louder with every step he takes. Sparks of energy surround his body, showing that he is preparing for the biggest fight of his life. Another powerful shot shows Thor standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out at a burning horizon. Behind him, dark clouds begin forming into a massive storm. The lightning becomes more intense than anything seen before. This storm feels alive, almost like it is connected to Thor's own strength and emotions. The trailer then cuts to scenes of other heroes watching him from a distance. Their faces show respect, but also sadness. It feels like they understand something the audience is only beginning to realize. Thor may be preparing for a final sacrifice. One of the most unforgettable visuals happens next. Thor slowly lifts his hammer toward the sky, and the storm above answers instantly. Lightning strikes again and again, forming a glowing circle of energy around him. The ground shakes, and the air fills with thunder that echoes like war drums. Avengers. Doomsday. The last thunder god. This ending leaves viewers with one powerful feeling. This is not just another battle. This is the final journey of a legend, and the fate of the thunder god may decide the fate of the entire universe.